Okay, hi, my name is Saga, and I normally just live stream on this channel, but uh, normally I do like art and just some games that I want to play and I want friends to watch. However, once I did Dwarf Fortress, and it is, out of all the live streams, the most viewed video that I got. And because I've talked to friends about it, and I personally love the game, I've realized it's probably because a lot of people don't really know where to start when it comes to this game. And I I'm not an expert, but I know enough that I can have fun when I'm playing. And that's really all that matters with this game. Every time I play through, I learn something about how it works. And basically, I just want to do this series where I play it, and I have Ruby here,
Oh,
to ask me questions because he doesn't really know how to play it either, and I can just explain how things work as we're playing
well,
it. I'm not going to do any cuts or editing in this, it's going to be exactly as it is and just how it plays out. So, in reality, it's probably just going to be more me and Ruby talking, and things will just kind of be explained as we go. This is definitely one of my favorite games to play. I have another world on another computer that I really like. I've been doing a lot of fortresses adventures on it, and I've been getting to know it and getting familiar with like all of the intricacies of it. But I thought it might just be a better idea to start a new world, just so that everybody can see if they don't even know where to start. So you want to go to create new world, don't do advanced parameters. Honestly, that is something that I've learned. You don't want to do advanced parameters with anything in this game. It knows how it is supposed to be played, and it knows how to set you up to win. And honestly, it's not about winning. It's more, it sets you up so that you don't fail, and even if you are really, really bad, it helps you as much as it possibly can. So you've got a bunch of options here, and there are about three that really matter. The first one is history, and this is basically just a means of explaining how long the world is going to take to generate. It goes hand in hand with world size. You can either have a bigger world, and I suggest a shorter history, or you can have a smaller world and you can go longer for history. But I am a programmer myself. I've really liked world generation algorithms, and I've kind of studied this game for a bit. And how I realized it does things is it goes through and sweeps. So it sets up the world with like 4 or 5, maybe more different sweeps. I haven't looked that closely, but it sets up the structures, as in like mountains, the landforms, like the oceans, the mountains. Then it puts in the forests, then the rivers, and then it starts to go through the ages, and that's when it puts in people and monsters and civilizations and all sorts of things like that based on the parameters that you put out here. And if it runs into a roadblock, it'll backtrack. So the longer that you have the history set as, and the world size, the more likely it is that it's going to backtrack at that specific age, which means it takes a long time to generate everything. Not to mention, the more history that you have, the more things that will be born that it has to keep a track of. So I'm going to do a medium world because I like it bigger. It means I can play in it a lot more. And I'm going to do medium history, just so I can show some things off. I'm going to do... I'm going to do high civilizations. I'm going to do a high number of sites. So it's like, I'm planning to do a fortress now, and then go back and do adventure mode, because adventure mode is a lot of fun too. I normally put beasts and savagery on low, because I would rather figure out how to play the game. You can do whatever you want. It's really preference. I'm going to keep savagery on low, but I'm going to set beasts to medium, because I do kind of want to find something in adventure mode. And normally I put mineral occurrence on frequent. It doesn't matter. Who cares? You're gonna find shit. You're gonna find something to do. And there's so much to this game. And that's why a lot of people, I think, don't like it or don't want to try it, because there is so much. You can't really care. You just gotta learn to, I don't want to say ignore it, but ignore it. You just gotta learn to pick and choose what you want to care about. So I'm going to set go, it's going to start generating. See, it already rejected 5 possible generations. So as this is going, I'm going to talk about something else. RimWorld. And right before we started, Ruby asked me about it. And which is, what did you say?
I was mostly asking about the creatures, like the people.
Okay, yeah. So like which ones are
I'm kind
more
of
in
like,
depth?
yeah,
And which
which
oh
ones?
no, I remember the question. Which ones are harder to deal with?
Oh
Um,
yeah,
what the fuck
because
is it doing?
I have played RimWorld, and oh god, they're frustrating.
Um, they're a bit easier in this. They're a bit stupider, but they are
Ah,
a bit more in depth. So it's like they are kind of, in my opinion, they are more true to dwarves. They basically, how they work is they are given the same set of things of, like, as in RimWorld, they are given personalities, thoughts, preferences, ideas, stuff like that. Except in this game, it's a lot more impartial. You can much more easily ignore their desires and what they want. And also, I just want to kind of bring attention. It went really quickly up to this point, and now it's slowing down, and it'll be like near the end. It'll probably be at the point where it's like a minute per year. So it's going to take a while to get to 250. I'm probably going to cut it out. But right now we can just talk about stuff, and I can explain a few things. Overall, how I got to this point in the game is actually because of RimWorld. I went back and played RimWorld after dabbling in this game, and I realized that compared to this, it has nothing. And before recording, I came up with a good analogy, I think. This game is a vulture, while RimWorld is a peacock. RimWorld is very pretty, it's very easy to display, it looks daunting, but it's like, overall, people prefer it, but it's kind of useless. Dwarf Fortress, on the other hand, is a vulture, which is ugly. People don't necessarily like it, but it is very powerful. It is very good at what it does, and it's a lot more, I'd even say, intelligent than a peacock. I guess maybe a raven or a crow
yeah,
would be a better comparison, but it's like, it's a very in-depth game, and it's kind of like, in my other world I have done 3 notable fortresses, and all 3 are completely different in how they function, in what they make, in everything about them is different compared to each other. It's like, One of them is in the middle of a mountain. It is mainly stoneworking and mainly mining based. Another one I intentionally chose by the side of the ocean, and it's a fishing village, basically. I didn't get that far because I need certain things in it that I couldn't find because of my own stupidity, but it's certainly unique, and if I wanted to, I could very easily go into it and advance it a lot farther. I think that's the one that I have on my stream. And the final video, or the final one, I just started today, and it looks really promising. It's on an island that I played through in adventure mode, and because it's on an island, I know how to get there as an adventurer, and I can get there easily and just kind of visit it. But it's completely above ground because it's surrounded by sand. There is no stone. Except I did choose a brook, so it had water and I can have fish for food. And basically, what my plan is with it is I'm either going to try and find stone somewhere deep underground if I can get there, or I'm going to buy some kind of stone from a trader, and I'm going to set up a glass making workshop, and I'm going to make and sell glass. And honestly, I really don't know that much about the economics in a world, but to me that sounds like a very stable fortress. Of course, it's not gonna be protected, like, as far as military goes, but it has a stable supply of food, it has water, and it has a means of making money. And it's on an island, so there's not really anything that can attack from an island, except for, like, maybe rogue goblins or something like that, which the dwarves can handle goblins.
So do the dwarves refuse to listen to what you tell them to do?
If they're mad, yeah.
Because I know in RimWorld you can tell them to do something and they refuse to do it.
Okay, no, it's not quite the same as in RimWorld. With the dwarves, regardless of what their skills are, you can tell them to do. You can give a task to any of them, and they will, if it needs to be done, do it. Will they do it well? But do it.
Some do it well than others, but all of them can do it.
Yes. So that is they all can do it, and that's important. And it makes things a lot easier than sometimes they are in RimWorld. Another thing that's different from RimWorld is you start with 6 dwarves normally, as opposed to 3. And you are at pretty even intervals, you're getting more.
I don't remember what build of RimWorld I played, but it was a lot different from the RimWorld that is what it is now.
Yeah, the one I played recently.
Yeah, completely different from the one I remember playing.
Regardless, it's nothing compared to this game. And the number one thing that I remember that turned me off of RimWorld pretty much completely. No, I went back to it and it was okay. It was fun. But it's still not as enjoyable, I don't think, as this game. And that was the fact that there is only one level. There is only one map. You have that map and that is it. In this game, you have that map and that is it. However, you have like 255 Y levels that you can go up and down.
Yeah.
So
in RimWorld, you're just kind of at one
stuck.
level.
And it's like, so it's like, with this game, building a roof is a bit more roundabout. because you have to build a floor on the level above. But it's like, at least you have a level above.
Yeah.
In RimWorld, you don't. It's you build, and then that's it. Another thing I want to say, yes, I know there are graphics packs. I actually prefer the ASCII. I am an outlier, but I just do. I like it. I've learned how to read it. It took a little while, but now I can read it pretty much fluently. So, like, you can, like, see all of these gray. This is all mountains. These are just, these are forests, probably. I don't know exactly. I know well enough this screen is something green. It's either forests. I know that these arrows are forests. But these are probably, like, jungle forests. The ends are, like, hills. Geez, this is a forest because I know for a fact that all of the eyes are elven. Or they should be elven down here. This purple is probably bad. That looks like a necromancy tower, or some sort of evil tower. All of this down here, this is all ice. What else can I point out? Over here.
Necromancy tower.
What, these? The pie? The pie symbols?
Said necromancy tower.
Something bad. It's something bad. All of these lines down here, I'm almost certain that they're roads. I don't remember exactly, but I'm almost certain that they're roads. These omega symbols are, at least some of them are fortresses. I can't tell if this is lava or not. It looks like desert to me, but it might not be. But, like, the bottom line is, it doesn't matter. You don't need to be able to look at it and tell instantly, oh, this is what it is. You just need to be able to tell, I would much rather settle in the mountains than over in the desert lava, or whatever it is. Like, that's the bottom line. And it's like you can always hover, in the game, you can always hover over it. So as long as you know what your crosshair is, you can always find something. You can always figure out what it is, because the game will just tell you.
Which is good.
It's kind of necessary. Here's another thing. I don't actually know if this is the entire map. There's a chance that it might not be, that this is just a section of it, and there's something over off-screen, like over here or over there. That
it looks like it might, actually.
Yeah, because of up here especially, but I don't know. I don't know the world sizes by heart, because normally you only generate one world and you just make a bunch of fortresses in it.
Yeah.
That's another thing. That's another thing I do want to mention. This is not the kind of game that you're going to sit down and just play in. Like, you're going to sit down, make a fortress, and play in it. And that's all you're going to do in it. This is not that kind of game at all. You're going to get bored of the same fortress. And if you are going to enjoy the game to its fullness, you need to jump around. If you get tired of a fortress, either abandon it to ruin or retire it. And you can always pick it up later. If you lose, if something comes and completely wipes you out, if you just, like, all your dwarves kill each other, because that can happen, then just go back to it. You can go back to it with a new team, pick up where you left off. It'll be different dwarves, it'll be different situations, they might need to repair some things, but it's like, that is the draw of this game. It is a continuous world that you are dabbling in. So, you don't... if you get bored of a single fortress, don't feel bad retiring it, letting it do its own thing. The AI takes over, I think. I don't know. It doesn't look like it does from what I've left, but I've jumped around a lot. Yeah, if you don't like your circumstances, just leave it and go start another fortress, or do an adventure mode, because that's a lot of fun too. And that is how you A, learn the game, and that is how you B, have fun with it. Don't try and learn everything about it in one sitting. That is not fun. That's not what it's for either. It's supposed to be something that you play in the world of. You don't play in the fortress. If that makes any sense at all. I'm kind of new to this video making thing, and I don't feel great, so Alright, well, that's all I have to talk about before we're actually in the game, so I think I'm going to cut it here, and I'll pick back up once the world is generated. Well, that took a while. I mean, I did say it would, but, like, that took a while. So, oh yeah, I was right. There's more to the world than what was shown. Okay, so a world is created. Now what? Ruby? What do you do now?
Yeah. I have no clue whatsoever.
Well, you press enter, and it takes the world and it saves it. And that takes a while too. But as you can see there, you can just look through the world and see all the stuff that was going on with what was already generated.
So, like, I'm guessing you select a place to start?
Yeah.
Or,
yeah, pretty much. Right now I'm going to do fortress. I'm going to set up the fortress. And honestly, I think as far as this episode goes, it's already like 25 minutes long. I'm just going to cut it right here. Or once we get back to the main menu. Because it's already really long, and I talked about a lot of stuff, and I kind of want to make these shorter. So, I haven't even really started anything yet, and I know it's a shame. I wanted to get into the game, but honestly, it's probably just a better idea to not, because setting up a fortress is something that can take a while, or it can be really quick, depending on how careful you want to be. And I'm gonna just like go through what I consider and what are like the important things to consider when making a fortress. Well, this is offloading because this is still part of setting up the world.
Really quick, you mentioned adventure mode. What's that?
I love adventure mode. Adventure mode is a roguelike version of the game where you create a character that works like one of the dwarves with all their skills and abilities and items. It's the same exact system, except you get to play as them. You place yourself into the world and you just play.
That sounds kind of cool, actually.
It's really cool, and it's actually a lot of fun because um, you set your own goals and what you want to do with that character. I've made bards before. I've made characters that are just completely useless. I just walked around until I died, and honestly, that was an hour of amusement to me. So it's like, as long as you're having fun with this game, you're playing it right.
Ah,
And I do understand that it does require a base level of understanding to be able to enjoy it, but it's like, you don't need to be an expert to have fun with it. You can just dick around, and that's what I do the majority of the time. But like, look, seriously, it's like, good saving coin information. There is so much in every single world in this game that it's like, I used to make different worlds every time I wanted to play a new fortress,
mm-hmm.
because, and I'll show you from the start menu, if you have a game going, you cannot create something else in that world until you are done with it. And the reason why is because everything is set on a calendar, so it's like, as you are doing things in the game, they are being recorded in the history of the world in real time.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like, anytime, if you're an adventurer, anytime you do fucking anything, it is recorded as a record. And I wish I could show you from my other world, um, my adventures. They don't last long, but it's like, they don't need to. As long as you're having fun. And honestly, they were just me kind of feeling around at the mode, because I don't know what I'm doing as far as that mode goes. But I can show you other figures that I haven't used in this world. There is so much that is involved. Um, but I think I'll just do that on the next episode. So as soon as this app starts responding, we'll just end off. So I don't know what the release schedule is going to be like right now. I do know for a fact that I'm going to be recording another, probably like 2 or 3 episodes right now. Hopefully they can be 15 minutes. They might not be as like cleanly cut off as this one. It's just right now I'm watching the time and I have a very easy cutoff point that I can make. And considering that the other half of this video was 20 minutes, I might as well just make this 6 minutes as it is now and then just shove it on the end. That's another thing that I do want to say right now before we actually get into it, and I continue rambling while actually trying to play the game. It does stop responding a lot. It's
Oh.
Don't be scared of that. It's a game that it does a lot of stuff. So, with that said, until next time.